over to Steam, so let's make sure we're up on Steam.
I'm still loading in.
That's good. You just be quiet.
I'm keeping an eye on.
I have to go all the way to Montreal and back. All right.
Yeah, we'll wait till we see it up on Steam, Sam.
We are up on YouTube, just waiting on Steam.
Awesome. Let me see. Steam for me is still sending data, unable to connect.
Takes a bit.
I'll give it a sec.
Welcome to Gold River. You must be here. for some
Sending
backwoods
data to
adventure.
Steam again. Hopefully we get a handshake here. Unable to connect.
Welcome to Gold River. You must be here for some backwoods adventure.
Are we live?
All of your
We are on YouTube, but not on Steam yet. We're waiting for Steam. So Steam
Okay.
is, we just get a signal. I'll let you guys know when.
press the depart button on the digital wave.
Bobby,
Quickly, I
turned down
think
my-
that this. Sorry?
I turned down my master volume
Have an amazing time.
Okay.
in the game yesterday, just so I could hear the voices and stuff better.
Okay.
Like,
I think we are now live on Steam.
Are we? Let me double check.
Yep.
okay.
Ooh, I'm getting a spinning wheel. Yeah. All right. We are live. Welcome,
Nice.
welcome, welcome.
Hello, we are back again. Yesterday we did a stream with co-founders Dave and Craig. Today we are here with Dave, Craig, and lead technical artist Bobby. I'm
Yay,
Sam.
Bobby.
Today, yay Bobby.
Hello.
Today we're going to do some more runs of the game, answer more questions. So if you have questions, comments, anything, feel free to drop them in chat. And we will get going.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, guys, you guys can jump. I want to welcome everybody. It's Dave here, co-founder and level designer, along with many other hats that we all wear. We kind of all wear each other's hats, so being a small team of 6. So yeah, welcome. And we'll go through this. So a quick little high level about the game. Just a little blurb is it's a single and multiplayer open world camping adventure game where you and your friends are offered a remote camping trip. 1 week turns into several when you suspect your guide will never come back for you. You're deserted and discover you're trapped in an experiment, and you have to survive and find a way out. So that's what these two are going to do. You guys gonna do the tutorial or just skip it?
I skipped the tutorial.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
there
think
you
we
go.
know
So-
what we're doing.
When you fire up the
What?
game, you can hit Y for yes for the tutorial, and it'll kind of run you through on how to sort of craft and interact and learn and all the sort of basic things you need to do to survive your first 2 days in the wilderness. These two are just going to wander around. A couple little of improvements that are in this latest demo build is now that if your inventory is full, you will get a drop on the top left. Bobby just did it there, so it tells you what you dropped and that it went on the ground. So that's really helpful. We're finding that people that didn't have enough storage at the beginning for a backpack, once they crafted a backpack, that would drop on the ground and they wouldn't realize it, and they would carry on, not realizing it was at their feet, and craft another backpack, and so on and so forth. So this is really handy now to let people know if their inventory is full that it's dropping on the ground and what dropped on the ground. So super happy with that. We have a few more things coming down the pipeline. I think that'll be in the next demo that we've been working on. Bobby and myself and Craig talked about people getting sick from drinking contaminated water. So all the water in the game that is in nature is contaminated. So you need to fill up a water bottle, boil it, and then you can drink it. If you do drink contaminated water, you can make, I think it's a peppermint tea. So it's chopped peppermint leaves, boiled clean water, and then you put that on your campfire, and then you can create peppermint tea. And if you drink that, that'll get rid of the bugs. And we also have just added I guess like a blister pack of medicine that will take care of that as well, which will be more likely located in like substations or even at sort of buildings and stuff like that. So that'll be randomly added in the next demo. And one other thing we added on this is some people didn't even know they're sick or why they were dying. So when you do drink the contaminated water, we are going to have a little audio cue of like a "Ugh," kind of a yucky taste in your mouth kind of sound, and we'll have that for the male and the female characters. And that should be in the next patch that's coming up. And I think we're doing maybe 2 patches a week. Is that true, Craig? Kind of thing.
We're trying to keep it to like 2 a week at the most, just so it's we can make sure that it's getting tested properly. Like it does. Like we don't want to. We ran into that issue last week, and I was like, whoopsie. So want to make sure we don't cause more trouble than
Exactly.
Bobby,
You're talking
do you
about
have
the
any
multiplayer bug, yeah.
Bobby, do you see any cloth? Because I'm trying to work on building a backpack since I let you take that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Here you go.
Awesome.
you.
So yeah, those are a couple of quality of life things that we're putting in. I think that really will help the player not only get that audio cue that they drank bad water, but in the bottom left where your HUD is for your health and your food and your temperature and all that good stuff, you'll have a little amoeba bug that shows up there. And that's in the current build right now, but I think because there's no audio cue, a lot of people don't look down over there and realize that they may have drank contaminated water. So not only is there a
Bobby.
way to show it now, but there's also a couple of ways to cure it, which is great.
We took off. He gave me too much cloth. I was trying to give it back. Sorry, I interrupted, Dave.
Oh, it's all good. No, you guys do your thing. If you gotta
I,
help each other out and make it through this
He
world,
was,
you
he
do
was
what you
too
gotta do.
generous. He was too generous.
There's never too much cloth. It's fine.
We have been watching pretty much every stream that's ever existed or VOD
Yeah.
on the game and learning so much from everybody. So we really appreciate everyone that's downloaded it and streamed it and created some amazing content. We've learned a lot of little things we didn't realize that may have been broken or people didn't understand. So that's where we got the idea to add an audio cue and adding some blister pack medication on top of doing the peppermint teas. So we're really paying attention to the community and really appreciate all the feedback that we're getting, whether it's in Discord or even just on YouTube and online. So it's been amazing. Some things that people have totally noticed, especially if they've ever been captured, is ending up in a bear cage, which is our little nod to the TV show Lost, which is a huge influence on us for this game. And there's lots of video game influences and movie influences, but probably Lost is one of the biggest ones that we kind of do a little nod to here and there, and pretty excited for people to discover that and notice that. So it's really cool. So we'll talk a little bit about what makes our game different from other games in this genre. There is crafting and there's survival, but the key thing for us was how do we make a game like this that is multiplayer, but it's PoE, and we wanted to basically randomize everything. And this is something that Craig and I sort of tried to work on back in the UE4 days of how do we sort of every time you play the game move some certain points of interest around that are key to solving everything. So we worked on that for eons and brought that tech over into UE5 when we did the change, and super happy with how that worked for the substations. And with the substations, we also carried that on to important loot as well. So whether it's key cards or keys, certain notes, maps letting you know where the substations are, all of that stuff is randomized on every new playthrough. Also, the animal location spawns, and one thing that Bobby added quite recently that's really cool is for the animals is not only the randomization where the animals are spawning, but what time of day and what day. So you could go through an area that you got attacked by a cougar or a wolf or a bear, and you could go through that area again and maybe nothing happens. So it's really, you can't sort of learn the game and go, okay, I'm going to stay away from this area because I got attacked by a cougar, it may be completely somewhere else. So we as devs playing the game love that, because there's nothing, it's all new to us as well, where the substations spawn, where the AI is, where the notes are, food, specialty keys, all that kind of stuff. So it's great every new playthrough. We really enjoy that.
Bobby's got a bucket hat, and I'm kind of jealous. 'Cause
Yeah, I saw
I
it.
like to have a bucket hat, but I don't think the bucket hat works well with this character's hair, so I'm just gonna be jealous. from a
See,
distance.
that's what you see. So that's a replication issue, and we'll get that fixed. But the rest of us in stream see a beautiful bucket hat with no issues.
No, I'm saying if my character, if I
Oh.
wear the bucket hat
Your
with
hair
my
pops
hair,
through.
I think so. And I don't think I don't know if they would have a bucket hat. I don't know.
That's a great observation.
Bobby's character definitely has bucket hat vibes.
Oh yeah, 12 months out of the year.
Sam, I'll quickly, before I finish off the sort of what makes our game different, there's one other thing I'll add, and then we'll see if there's any questions. The one thing that I want to add that Bobby brought to the table for us, which is really cool, is not only on the randomization, but also seasonal changes in the world, which is really, really cool. So right now you're in perpetual summer, and that's how you start in the game. And you quickly realize that you are stuck in perpetual summer with these magnetic electronic walls, which is what you're trying to bring down. But when you do bring those walls down, the other season on the other side of that wall also moves in on you. So the temperature drops, the leaves change, and it starts pouring rain, and you are in fall, and it's really cold. So you have to prep for all that kind of stuff. But one thing that Bobby brought to the table that's really cool is when leaves change or they fall off due to winter, now that exposes inside of that bush or that tree, and you can find loot. Or in the storms that take place when the seasons change, a tree falls over and now you can reach a place that's out of reach. Or a quarry that had maybe just some stagnant little bit of water in there because it's summertime is now filled all the way up, and you can reach an area that you couldn't reach before. So some really cool ideas coming down the pipeline that we're excited to share with everybody in early access. That's going to really be really cool. So I just wanted to add that to our randomization as well. Sam, if there's any questions, I'd love to take those, and if not, we'll move on to game types.
Yeah, I think it would be fun, since we didn't have Bobby yesterday, to kind of hear what Bobby's been working on in the game. We know Bobby's been deep in like the farming mechanics, stuff like that. So just kind of hear a little more about those things.
That's a great question.
Yeah, for sure. So as of late, it's been watching as many streams as possible and bug fixing live. We're trying to respond as quickly as possible to everything as it pops up, as well as working on optimization so we can get as many people playing as possible. But yeah, I think a core sort of responsibility I've had has been integrating our systems. So we have a lot of cool things that you can do with hunting, with fishing, with farming, as well as some things that we're working on that aren't quite ready yet. But figuring out a way that we can kind of pair those things and marry those features together has been a big sort of goal of mine, and a big project that I will continue to work on and develop further and further. One example that we've added just recently is animal bones. So you may have seen at the beginning of the stream that I found some bones. And if I go into my inventory, if I right click on this, I can learn here, and we get this recipe here, the bone hook, which you can see is available in player crafting. And if I go over to our crafting tab here, I can now make a hook that I can use for fishing. So the reason why this system is so important is it kind of ties together our hunting with our fishing. And you'll see that throughout the game multiple times, where one system kind of lends itself to another, which as a solo player, I personally love, because it allows me to kind of progress in multiple areas just by progressing in one. But if you're playing with friends and one of you really loves to fish, someone else really loves to hunt, you can kind of help each other out intuitively by just pursuing what you enjoy. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's cool. I actually want to tee off of that. Another thing that Bobby brought to the table was these specialty. Blah, 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 that's a mouthful. Specialty pouches, and we talked a little bit of that last stream and showed it in game. And they randomly spawn as well. They're all over the place. But there is a doctor's pouch, and what these little pouches do is they attach to your hip, and they give you a little bit more storage, but they're only storage for those particular things. So if it's a doctor's pouch, it's going to be your first aid kind of stuff. So your bandages and your painkillers and things like that. So those will all live in there. And then there's a farmer one, a fishing one, an ammo one, and a chef one. I think that's all the ones that we have right now. And these are great for multiplayer where everyone can kind of become a role. Like a lot of games that I play with friends and with Bobby as well is that we have friends that just want to be a medic. So that's all they collect in an open world survival game. And we always go to them when we're in trouble because they'll take care of us. So it's cool to see things like that. So those can be separate roles that each person can have in a multiplayer, and in a single player you could collect all of those and stick them in your tent because your tent is storage, and depending on that day, if you're like, I don't feel like progressing into this part of the map yet until I'm ready, and you just want to farm, you can put on your farming pouch and you have all your gear preset in there, and you're off to go off and running. And I love that. I love having that sort of preset ability to have those, and a quality of life that was just added is if you have one of those pouches and you pick up something that corresponds with that pouch, it will automatically go in there. So if it's not full, which is really, really cool. So expanding all those sort of little functions, and I'm really excited about that. Is there any other questions there, Sam?
I think that's it for now. I'd love to hear kind of as we go along, talk about the game types and stuff, kind of hear more of how what Bobby is working on ties into those things.
For sure.
From his perspective as well.
Yeah, I'll go into game types, and yeah, if either Bobby or Craig has anything they want to interject, just go for it.
I've been working on my tan.
So game types, it was really interesting from the get-go. Craig and myself at the beginning really wanted to leave a lot up to the player and let the player determine how they wanted to play the game. So it is very much play at your own speed. There's no go. Now that obviously contradicts the demo, because the demo is only 2 days, and what we're seeing is people slowly figuring out different mechanics, whether it's the learning or the survival of setting up their campsite and storage and getting their tent up and their sleeping bags so they have a respawn point and all that stuff. And then once they figure that out, they're like, 2 days have gone. So they play again, but now they know how to do those things quicker, and they build and build and build and build. But the final game, the game that's going to be in early access, not only will you get the other seasons and larger map, but you'll have unlimited time, so you can really slow it down, unlike the demo. So you can really just take your time, really explore summer, and when you are ready and you have those fall clothing and you feel like you've rationed enough water to go and some food to go, then you can venture on. And we're excited to see people play that. So for game types, very much on the chill, if we can even say that about a world that's trying to kill you, but just take your time, figure out all the mechanics at the beginning, and we always felt that summer was almost like a tutorial level in itself. It's more of a gentle level, get you into it, and you have no rush to jump into fall or winter. You make that choice. You decide when you want to bring the wall down and move into the next part of the map. So I think the only way that you would be forced into fall is if you fished all the fish and you farmed all the farming and ran out of food. But yeah, we really geared it up towards that. Now, saying that, we've seen some really cool stuff happen with the demo because it got this time pressure sensitive thing, and people really trying to bring the wall down. So that's got us back here thinking of different game styles, whether it's doing the normal gameplay, which what the final game will be, a peaceful version where there's nothing going to eat you, there's nothing going to attack you. You can just live in a nice peaceful world and play there. And then the timed one. So we're looking at different variations on how to do that. So I won't speak too much on that, but it would be something time based where there's time is of the essence to get out of summer, move into fall, and move into winter as well. So that'll be super interesting. So that's coming up in the early access.
Yeah, and just to quickly speak to that chill
Yeah.
nature, I think that one thing that we really want to lean into is anyone who's sort of gone in the outdoors for an extended period of time, whether it's camping, hiking, just any type of exploring, there's always that excitement and eternal possibilities when you start. You know, you're super excited to try out your new Camelback backpack or whatever gear you have, and there's nothing but adventure in your heart. And then you know things happen, circumstances change. You come across barriers and you overcome it, and that's part of the fun of those experiences. Now, obviously, being a game, we're able to crank those barriers up to 11, and quite literally have certain barriers that you have to overcome. But I think that lends itself really well to, like Dave was saying, like having the opening of the game really be sort of an endless exploration if you want it to be, and you can kind of take it at your own pace. But then there's elements that we're introducing that sort of force your hand a little bit and kind of push you into the heat of things, which is exciting.
That's a great point because I was speaking more sort of a high level, and Bobby touched on more of the sort of micro and what we've seen in streams, which has been really interesting, is people getting dropped off at the dock and really exploring, which is what this game is about. We want you to look in every nook and cranny, look everywhere, and really uncover what's here. And in doing so, because they're staying in an area for quite some time, their food and water is slowly draining out. And then you get that little bit of urgency of like, oh man, I need to figure out where some food is. And that's that natural push for the person to sort of take a trail. All trails lead somewhere. And the trails that don't lead somewhere and maybe go to an outcrop or maybe just a bench that's by the beach, just keep looking because everything leads somewhere, whether it's showing you something across the water or it's taking you to this kid's summer camp where you can come and investigate and see what's here and move around. And it's those gentle pushes of enjoying the world and then realizing at your HUD on the left or hearing your character's stomach start gurgling and going, oh, I'm hungry, I need to figure this out, is awesome because it's those pushes that make the person explore and see what else is out there, that have come in really handy. A couple other little gentle leans that we've done is campsites that sort of randomly spawn in the world, and you'll see smoke in the distance, and you can go in and investigate those as well and see what you can find there. Also radio towers in the distance. There's one right there in front of Bobby coming up. And I'm trying to think of any other leads that we have. There's some that aren't in the demo that are coming that are pretty cool. But I won't spoil anything. It's hard for us being in other people's streams and not sort of helping, because I think one thing that we've seen that's really cool is people discovering experience and figuring things out, and that light bulb moment, and that has just made us so happy because working on this game, we get it, but we obviously will get blinders on because we're so close to the game, and seeing people like, oh, okay, figure things out, whether it's how to craft or finding a new location and how to get to the location is really, really cool.
I don't want to brag, but I just found 2 camping chairs, so I'm gonna put these out for Bobby. We're gonna hang out. Yeah.
Well, that's a nice little segue into camping chairs and chairs in general. It's a fun little function that we put in. And what that does is you can craft a chair that you can put down at your campsite, which is fantastic for nighttime. Right now, the game is 60 minutes real time for the day and 10 minutes at night. So if you don't want to explore at night, a little too scary, not into it, you can actually put a seat down. You can craft one, or if you find a chair that Craig has just found there and sit in it, what it does is you'll see in the bottom left corner of where the HUD is, so that's where your health and your food and your water and your temperature is, and your stamina bar at the very far right of it will start having a bunch of little Z's or Z's, depending on which country you're in. And it's almost like a rest, and you're going to get a secondary boost. So even if your stamina is full, you're now going to see a bar fill up in green of a double stamina on top of that. So if you sit there long enough and sort of just chill at your campfire, and Bobby's going to demonstrate that right now. There we go. And you can see in the bottom right there, there's the little Z's going along, and the bar is slowly filling up to green. Now he can stay there the entire time until that bar is fully green. So in the morning or whenever, he can now sprint for much longer throughout the world. And I think we're looking at passing that down to stamina as well, if it doesn't already, for swimming, which will be really, really cool, because we have some perks that you've probably been hearing, some dings and things like that. And I think, Craig, if you turn around, there we go. Craig, come back. And then come up to Bobby and then turn around. On the back of Craig's backpack, he has a badge. So he has a running badge there. So there's a bunch of badges you can collect. And what those do is little perks that come up. So he has run so much in this game that he has now expanded his own stamina for running, which is amazing. There's one for swimming, which you can hold your breath longer, because there's going to be places to discover underwater, whether it's in a man-made structure or in these lakes and rivers. There is a first aid one. There is...
Oh, I got a pouch on me if Bobby comes here.
Oh, you have a pouch on you? Oh, which pouch is that?
I think it's the chef's pouch.
The cooking one, yeah.
It's a cooking one? Cool. And yeah, so the badges, they not only are really cool to have those on your backpack and show off to your friends which ones you have, but you get perks on top of that. And once again, that will be represented at the top left of the screen once you receive those, and they'll tell you exactly what you get. We're looking at the future when you go to your journal, which is the tab. You see where Bobby is right now. He's got a journal, health, crafting, inventory. In the journal, we'll also have all your badges there as well, and you can click on them and it'll tell you exactly what perk you've got and what level you're at. What level you're at, because we want to do at least 3 levels with 3 different shapes of badges, so you can move up through that. So that's a nice little touch to sort of customizing your backpack, and those will transfer. So if you get any of those badges throughout the game on a crafted backpack, they will transfer to a small backpack, which is what Bobby has right now on screen. And if there's a larger backpack too, which has got a great capacity, and those will all switch right over as you take them on and off again. Yeah, any questions there, Sam?
Not that I can think of at this exact moment. Let me check. I think we're good.
Alrighty, so I will talk a little. I talked a little bit about these things, but we'll do a little more deep dive in it on the game types. We talk about that it's play at your own speed, and that we may come out with a time trial and a peaceful mode. But there's also how do you move through the game? Like, how do you bring the wall down? And we have 3 ways of doing that. There is find a substation. Now there is a location and a type of substation that spawns on every new play. And what I mean by type is that a substation is basically a puzzle room. So this is one way that you can bring the wall down. So if you're into puzzles, this is the route you're going to want to take. So as you wander through the world, you may come across a map, and that map will show you the rough location of the substation. And usually it's tied to a trail that has a name or a specific landmark that stands out, and hopefully you'll be able to figure that out and find where that is. Once you enter a substation and go down into it, then you'll slowly decipher how you need to shut the substation off. So the substation represents a type of power, and that power is powering the wall. So that could be hydro, that could be nuclear, that could be geothermal. We have all different types of themes and all different types of puzzles within them, and there's multiple puzzles, so they're quite difficult, and we've kind of added that to all ways of solving it. There's no easy way to solve it, just different ways of solving and bringing the wall down. So we have the puzzle way. The second way is the perimeter control, which is a static location, and when you find the perimeter control, you're going to need a special key card to get in. And once you have that key card and enter, it's heavily guarded warehouse that you need to sort of wander through and get to the area of the perimeter control, which controls the wall to bring the wall down. So you're dealing more on a stealth system. Hey, you got a fish. A stealth system.
I was helping.
I saw that you pushed the fish towards him. That was very
Yeah.
good strategy.
Yeah,
Good strategy.
I was gonna hit the fish with my flashlight, but then I think Bobby told me to go away. So
You're scaring the fish away.
Hey, you're scaring the fish away.
So you have perimeter control, which is more of could be a brute force or even a stealth and kind of mission. So that's one you're dealing with AI soldiers and being very stealthy, very sneaky. When you do get in a crouch position with our character, you do go into a stealth mode, and that works really well when you're approaching animals like deer. If you crouch, you can get a lot closer to deer if you do have a bow and arrow or some way to take them down. So that's a good little technique. And the third option of bringing the wall down is for people that love to explore. So we've got the puzzle routine, we've got the stealth and force, and now the third way is explore. And what I mean by explore is randomly at the beginning of the game, there is a bunch of briefcases, electronic briefcases that are scattered throughout. And you have to find them all, find all the pieces inside of them, and then take them to an electronic crafting bench. And there's a few locations of those are hidden. Once you take them there, you can create almost like a little Raspberry Pi hacking device and hook that up to the exterior of a substation, and you can bring it down that way. So this one's really geared to the people that love exploring, love looking under every log, looking at the top of everything. Climbing into caves, using a pickaxe to bring down some walls and caves and things like that. So that one's geared towards the explorer. And what I like about that, they're all equally difficult because of that randomization system as well, whether it be the substation that's always moving, the randomization of the AI inside the perimeter control, or the randomization of the briefcases that are throughout as well. So all equally difficult, but in their own way. So you can kind of pick what works for you or what you're most interested in and how you want to bring that wall down. And then making sure that you're prepared for bringing that wall down, making sure you've got a warm jacket, maybe some jeans, maybe some work boots, some stuff that's going to keep you warm. So that is our how you bring the wall down and move on, the 3 different ways. If we have any questions, we can take those. If not, I can get into early access roadmap, and then we can talk a little tips and tricks. And then if Bobby and Craig have anything they want to add before I move on to roadmap.
Does anyone got any food?
I dropped you a couple fish. There's a couple fish in front of you.
I don't really like fish. What else you got?
Wow.
All right, let's go hunt it.
I think
They're going to be picky while you're stranded.
Just let them starve. I was gonna say.
Yeah. Do you like hatchets?
That's usually what Dave asks me.
So a lot of people, it's funny, a lot of people haven't discovered this, and this is a really cool thing. A nice little, once again, Bobby's doing all the great segues. I don't know if he can do it with that hatchet. I think is it the pro hatchet only, Bobby, that you can throw?
Yeah.
So there's a pro hatchet, and they are all throughout the world. I'm trying to see if there's one close to you. Actually, in the Quonset hut, if you want to head up there in the parking lot to your right, I think there's one in there. And the cool thing with the hatchet is, yeah, you can use it to chop wood. You can use it to defend yourself, but you can also be a lumberjack. You can throw the hatchet. So if you have the hatchet in your hands or equipped to the T spot, and we can show you that in the inventory in a second once he gets it, you can either hit T, and whatever your little dot there is on, to your right, you went past it. Head up to the parking lot, yeah, and make a left on this trail here. There you go, up here, and then once you get in the parking lot through here, make a hard right. And it's in the hard right. Oh, back, yep, down, yep, up, there you go. I think there's a hatchet that spawns in here. I'm not sure if it's random or if it's always here, but it should be on the table to the right. And it's random. Sorry, buddy. Oh, but you found something. What did you get?
Oh, I got a Camp Sunshine key.
Oh yeah,
It's got the master key.
Yeah.
And it's great that we can show this stuff on stream because someone's like, oh, I saw it on stream. I know where that key is. Well, it's not always going to be there, which is awesome. It's always going to move around. Now, it will move around in the vicinity. It's not going to be halfway across the world. It's going to be somewhere in the vicinity, but you're going to have to try and find it. So I love that. I love that sort of, you gotta dig for it, which is really, really cool. So if he finds a pro hatchet, he can have that in his hands. He can right click and it will throw. And it'll stick to trees, woods, people, all that good stuff.
Whoa! I felt like that was at me.
Oh, of course it's at you. Oh, Bobby's gonna need a flashlight. It's pretty. Oh no, eyes are getting better now. Sun's
I
coming
said
through.
4 times. I didn't want the salmon.
So that's one thing I've noticed people haven't figured out yet, which is really kind of cool. With the hatchet. And then also with that that T slot, and you can see right now if Bobby just stays in is this menu right here, the inventory. You have 2 weapon slots, so that's 2 different holsters over each shoulder. So you could have a rifle and a bow, or a shotgun and a rifle, and all sorts of combinations of what would go as far as harnessed, or a sling that would go over your shoulder. So you have those 2 locations there, and then you have the T spot, which is going to be on off your hip, and that could be a stick. So things that are coming down the pipeline is having a stick there, and it's like, why would I have a stick there and want to throw it really quickly? If you're in cougar country or in wolf country, you can throw that and the AI will run that way as you run the other way, or throw it at the cougar or the wolf and hope for the best. Same thing with rocks, which we saw earlier, where Bobby was able to throw a rock and hit the backpack in the tree, and the backpack came down. And there is some puzzles that you need to throw and be really good at your aim, that will help you out. I think we have wrenches that you can throw as
I
well.
found the hippie camp.
Where did he go?
Oh,
How did you
I
get
went
over there?
did
I
Craig
swam
wander off
across.
again?
Yeah, of course he did.
I got distracted. Oh, I'm here whistling. Uh-oh.
You better go save him, Bobby.
You don't know me. What did I
Go on
get?
away.
I got the fishing pouch. This place looks creepy.
So
What's with the
Craig
outdoor
has found
chandelier?
Faction 1's camp. Faction 1 AI is not in the demo. That will be coming in early access. But once again, going back to
I
our
found the
friend,
cow.
Randomization, all the settler camps, whether it's Faction 1, 2, or 3, which I can get into, will randomly spawn as well. So right now, the one that he is at is static and will always be there. And he'll be able to trade with those people. But in the future, that will move around as well. So every time you play the game, the factions will move around. So there's a Faction 1, which is sort of a hippie camp. They kind of want to be left alone. So they won't work with you personally, but they do have a box called a compassion box. And with this box, you can trade, which is awesome. And if you do leave them alone and don't pester them and don't be an ass by like shooting them or anything like that, then your level of trust will go up, and it will unlock more things down the road of what you can trade, which is super cool, and that will move around. The next level will be Faction 2. Craig is so excited. Get over there, Bobby.
Found electronics box.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Faction 2 is going to be kind of in. Oh, Bobby, please survive. Oh, that was shallow.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Faction 2, which is kind of in between the sort of the hippies, and Faction 3, which is super hostile. So they're keep to themselves. They build more of a standard fort, that's sort of with logs and construction and very much sort of battling, very good at sort of battling nature and surviving. They're a little more put together is probably the best way to say it than Faction 1. And they'll trade with you as well, but it's going to take a little more trust for them to trade with you. And then there's Faction 3, and Faction 3 it won't have anything to do with you. They're just out for blood, so you want to steer clear of them as much as possible. So Bobby's just come up on the compassion box here at the Faction 1 base. And it's just a little note just letting you know, hey, this is a trading box, a compassion box, and here's a list of all the things that they're offering you right now. So if you trade for those things, then you are good to go. Bobby's just discovering that it's not just a bow, that it's also arrows, and he's like, God damn it. So he can't get the green key right away. But if you learn how to craft an arrowhead, then you can make some more arrows, wink wink, and then you can do that. So he'll need things like crow's feathers, sticks, rope, and arrowheads, which you'll have to craft. So so we can. So
I'm
we
so
can
excited.
get
Bobby's
that
here.
key.
Bobby's here. Bobby's here.
Oh my God! Look
Oh
at this
my
stuff.
gosh.
Come here, come here, come here.
So
come
this
here.
is a nice look at Faction One.
Look
This
what-
is the hippie camp, and Steve created this. This is actually off real photographs of camps that were in the early 50s and 60s here in Vancouver Island, and I've seen the photos, and this is pretty darn close to what they look like. It's very on brand. So oh yeah, look at that. So did you already take the? Oh,
No,
nine
no,
volt
I
battery?
left it. I left it. I left it.
Nice. So that's one of the items. I think it's your first item out of the items he's going to need to create that hacking tool to bring down the wall via the substation. So that's really cool. So yeah, we're really excited to get the rest of the factions in with their bases. That you guys in multiplayer and in single player will make it so both ways you can lure people out of these bases, and you can sneak around and do some pilfering, which will be super cool.
Steve
Any
spray
questions, Sam?
I think it would be interesting to talk a little about, since you were just talking about how these camps are based off of real camps that Steve has seen. How much of the map is based on a real place?
Actually, that's a great question. So we built this world in World Creator, which is a fantastic tool that you can kind of create your own sort of mountains and landscapes and lakes and rivers and all that kind of stuff. But one thing that what we dove into was actually capturing real areas. So there is real mountain ranges. Whoa, what's that? Is that a wolf? Bobby's got a wolf.
Oh, shit. I'm
Yep.
staying back here.
Bobby doesn't have a wolf. Bobby doesn't have a wolf. Bobby doesn't have a wolf.
Bobby's running away. So yeah, so back to that. So there's a Unreal website. I think it's an Unreal website that has the entire world, and you can actually go and use that and download these sort of mountain ranges and famous areas and locations that are all throughout the Pacific Northwest. And oof, Bobby is trying to shoot the wolf, and it's terrifying. And then we can bring those into World Creator and basically move them around to create our own world. So it's not one for one. This is an exact duplicate of a place in the Pacific Northwest, but we've used mountain ranges in Washington State and British Columbia and throughout the region to create our world. So it has that really. Not only does the trees and the foliage add to it, but the mountains themselves that you traverse through are all real locations. So that's really super cool as well. And I think that really lends to like when we first brought it in and we did the upgrade to the world and did our first run around, we were like, wow, like this feels like home. Like this feels like the Pacific Northwest, and we were really excited about it. So it was a great addition. It was a lot of work to make it happen, but it was well worth it. I think it's where we were with the backers build 6 months ago, probably about 6 months ago, to where we are now is night and day in my personal opinion. I just feel like it's so much more immersive. It's so much easier to get lost. It's so much easier to discover amazing locations. Yeah, it's super cool. I think it was well worth the change.
Yeah, 100%. Just to quickly second that, I think that these guys have done an amazing job with building out a world that it's ironic that in a game that's based around wanting to escape, that we've created something that people use as a form of escape to kind of dive into and just explore and live in. So it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's we couldn't be happier. There we go. Bobby has found the axe. So right then you saw that he had either a hold or a pack, so he could have put it in there. But he also had another one called throwing slot, and that's what the T stands for, is our throwing slot. So you can actually put it there. And what I want a lot of people to know is like put it there right away, because once you put it in your throwing slot, you don't have to throw it. You can still attach it to your hotbar. So Bobby could now go back into his inventory, drag that over his hotbar, so he can still use one of his buttons to use it. But being on your hotbar, it's no longer in your inventory. It frees up a slot, everybody. Come on.
Optimization.
Optimization. You have more inventory space. I've seen people with like 6 hatchets. I'm like, what are you doing? So I do recommend, because we are in the demo, that you should probably have 2. And the reason for that is some will go missing when you throw them. Sometimes they go through the earth, and that's something that we're working on. That's a bug. But we did put this, if Bobby throws it there, awesome. Is it on the tree? Where'd it go? Did we lose it? Oh, no, I thought I saw it. It does have a little red glow on it as well. We put a little emissive material. If people are wondering, there it is. So at nighttime, you can find your hatchet as well. So that's super cool. So that's why it has that little glow on there for nighttime. If you throw it and you need to find it, it makes it a little bit easier. So. But yeah, I do recommend 2 if that's your main weapon, because they can sometimes slip through the earth and, for lack of a better term, daisy on you, and lose them. So that's super cool there. Any other questions, Sam?
Yeah, so you were also talking about like Wolf Country, Cougar
Yes.
Country.
Yep.
Are those locations also randomized?
Yes. So the location and as I spoke earlier, the day and time. So I've gone through an area going, oh no, oh no, oh no, knowing that I've been attacked by a cougar there and not had anything. And I've gone through that same location, I kid you not, 8 times, nothing. And then it's funny. And what I love about that is it puts you in that false sense of safety where you're like, oh, okay, everything's good, this is great, okay, I'm fine. And then on that 9th time, they're back, and I'm like, oh god damn it. So it really, this system, I can't express how much I love it as a dev, because we as the devs can play the game and we don't know. We have a rough idea where things are going to be, but we don't always know it's going to be there. So it's one of those things where it's like, do I avoid that area completely or do I risk it? So yeah, I love that. I think Bobby's going to have to quickly craft a torch here because it's getting dark. And it's going to be dark on stream soon here. Or if he has a flashlight.
I got the campfire going, Bobby.
Someone wants to cuddle. Someone wants a cuddle.
Yeah. I'm probably going to die in my chair. I kind of want to see what that's going to look like.
Oh no. That's pretty.
Is that wrong?
Uh-oh. Bobby doesn't have cloth.
Uh-oh. Yeah, because he gave me all the cloth, and I tried to give it to him, and he's like, there's plenty of cloth. He gave me like 15 cloths. I'm like, well, I don't
no.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
where it all
Because
runs.
one of
Bobby's.
one
If
of
you
my-
get to the water, Bobby, it's much lighter down there. It's easier to travel. So if you can make it down there without falling off a cliff and dying in front of millions of people, really good.
One
And
of my favorite things that we've implemented is the campfire icon, because let me tell you, before that was in, finding Craig right now was exceedingly difficult.
Oh, Craig really, really appreciates the
oh,
campfire.
look at that! You can see the
and
smoke. That looks awesome.
Now, one thing that people know is that you can have one campsite, and when you try and put down a second, it prompts you that it's going to destroy your campsite. But the cool thing about multiplayer is that we can each have our own. And I find that to be incredibly useful for not only exploring the map and having campsites to cook at and rest, but also putting one down in different areas of the map and kind of learning, okay, that's my east marker, that's my north, that's my south, has been very, very helpful for me.
Yeah,
to,
same for me.
to
That's-
learn with all the randomization.
Yeah, that's a great point. Having those markers and to touch on a little bit on the campsite, your campfire is your hub. So the way it's been designed is that you want to put down a campfire, and once you do that, the great thing about it is that's your save and load. So you can save there and then come back and load in on that, which is really, really cool. It's also where obviously you cook all your food and you keep warm. So it's got all this multifunction. And when you put it down, I don't know if you guys noticed earlier, when they put it down, any foliage around that area will disappear. And it'll give you a nice circumference to show you this is your base, this is your campsite. And within that circumference is where all things live. And what I mean by that is putting down your bed. Your bed is your respawn. So if anything happened to Bobby and he put a bed down, he'll get 2 options: random respawn or spawn at your camp. And if he has multiple ones, he can pick which one he wants to spawn at, which is really, really cool. The next thing you can put down or craft is a lean-to. So if Bobby put down a lean-to, that would give him storage. If he found an actual tent and put that down, it's just like a lean-to, but it's even more storage. So things that are coming down the pipe is storage boxes, and we're looking at making storage boxes so you can attach a symbol to them. So you can have a storage box that's strictly for food. You can have a storage box that's strictly for all your building stuff, and so on and so forth. So it's almost like the pouch idea, but even bigger, and you can label that. So Bobby's laying down a bed now, so if anything ever happens to him, he will respawn here. Now he will respawn pretty nudie. He's going to be in his underwear, so he's going to lose all his clothes, his backpack, and everything. So he'll respawn here, and I think he gets an icon where his body was, and so he can run back to his body and then loot his body and get all that stuff. And I think we leave like a little grave there, and you'll be able to get all his gear back if it's in a good place. I mean, some people have lost their loot and died in a terrible way by super soldiers in a perimeter control with shotguns, and you're not getting that back, especially going in nude. It's just not going to happen. But other things that you build at your campsite, like the chairs that they've just done, is the crafting bench. This might be a crafting... Oh, no, Bobby's going to do his own campfire. So you can actually overlap with Craig's campfire here, and they can create even a bigger space, which is really cool. So we're working on the placement right now. It's orange. When it goes blue, that's where you can place it. We're going to make that a little more forgiving. It's a little touchy right now, so that's something that we're working on, that you'll be a little easier to place in the world. And you can place on each other's stuff. It's not this is Craig's only and this is Bobby's only. It's when you're playing with friends, you can place vice versa. You can expand and build on.
I don't like people encroaching on my space, but that's just me personally.
You have a lot of hangouts.
I love
really weird.
The foliage thing is pretty great, because not only does it serve the purpose of kind of visually defining where you can place stuff for me, but also it allows me to find sticks and rocks anywhere I want very quickly, which is very useful as well.
Good point. And with sticks and rocks, people are talking about that. And we're working on trying to make them getting the collision a little bigger, so a little easier to pick up, because some of them are buried quite well into the ground. But you will find the interactive sticks and rocks on all trails, all roads, and near beaches. So that's sort of the sort of key areas right now where they're all at, and we're going to clean up so they're a little more easier to interact and pick up, because some do get buried into the landscape a bit much, and they're kind of hard to pick up. So we're going to get that cleaned up as well. But yeah, I do love, that was such a key thing of laying down your campsite and having that foliage automatically remove in this beautiful circle, so you can see, okay, this is the area that you can put down your tent. This is the area that you can put down your crafting bench. This is where you can put all your chairs and really set up your campsite. And you can have as many tents as land you got to place that. So we've seen some people play and have three tents full of storage, like just loot goblins, just gobbling everything up and running back and forth. Oh, more deer. So super cool on that side of things.
Is there anything else to do at night specifically? Or I know we put a lot of emphasis on, your campfire keeps you warm because it gets cold at night. But what are some other things for maybe people who want to explore?
Yeah, there's well, you can craft a torch, and you can also find a flashlight, and as long as you can find some D-cell batteries, you can use your flashlight and investigate as well. And we had some ideas of some places that you could only enter at night, and the reason for that being is where they would be perhaps a system where they're reliant on solar and they don't have a battery backup. So it's something that's sort of been, after a while, batteries just no longer hold a charge. So it could be a location that is fully fenced in, and maybe has, like, let's say, for the lack of better ideas, like a electric fence that's operational during the day, and the nighttime it's not operational. So but it's going to be pitch black, so you're going to need flashlight and a way to get in. So also just I love the animation here is a little broken because Craig somehow has got his arms underneath his legs, so that's really interesting.
Well,
Here, there's some food for you. I'll trade you for some cloth so I can make a torch and
Go explore.
not have people stare at the darkness. Yeah,
is that the chicken?
Yeah.
Just eat it, please.
Just eat it. It's chicken.
Tastes like chicken.
Yeah, it's chicken of the sea. Enjoy.
Here, I got. There you go. Lots of cloth.
Will there be
go
any
ahead.
more predator animals? I know we have cougars and wolves. Are there any additional predator animals that will be added in?
Yes, we have a beaver that is 10 times the size of a regular beaver, and the teeth are just razor sharp. And they're a grill, like they're gold plated. They'll just come at
Oh,
you,
yeah.
like, and it's madness.
He rides around on one of those little mini motorcycles.
Yeah, like
he
a mini
rides
bike.
around
Yeah,
the forest.
yeah, like
mini
the
bike.
Shriners. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a
Yeah.
little fez, and he like you see that run. Like honestly, oh, there's some great god rays coming from the moon there on
Oh.
the left.
We have the
Gorgeous.
black bear.
Yeah, so there's to be honest, there's black bears that will be in there, and we're looking at some other sort of that would be in this region. So we definitely want to be adding more predators on top of obviously humans, and that's kind of where we're at right now. I know with fishing, I know Bobby and I were talking about adding a variety of different freshwater fish that you will be able to catch, and have different recipes for those. That will be really cool and give you different levels of nourishment, and also looked into doing snares and traps, so fishing traps, but also with snares for anything for rabbits, and things like that. So definitely a lot of stuff on the menu for the game, and just the being a small team, we're really just trying to focus on like the key things and fix and make sure everyone can not only play the game but also in multiplayer getting that running really well. And then we'll, once we have that, then it's yeah, we can pretty much do anything and add anything, which is, I'm excited about the 20-foot beaver.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that too. I think one thing that we really focused on was being able to that we have a laundry list, like you were talking about, of features that we plan on continuing to add as players kind of explore and discover things and respond to how people are playing it. And nighttime is a big category of that. I have a whole Not Now Bobby column dedicated to nighttime things that we want to do. But one thing that I found to be kind of cool to see as well is that people are kind of exploring feverishly during the day, stocking up on loot, maybe getting separated, and then using nighttime as a way of kind of like reconvening, consolidating loot, setting up a plan, getting food, getting resources that they need to kind of explore the following day, which has also been kind of cool to see because that wasn't as expected, at least for me.
Yeah, I agree, especially with a time trial demo where time is of the essence. Some people are just enjoying just sort of setting up camp and just really getting into the camping vibe of it all, because we have really pushed that this is a camping game at its heart. It's just unfortunate that you're not going home. You're stuck here, so you got to find your way out. But yeah, taking that time to sort of get back to your campsite, use those tents as storage, and like I said, once we get those storage boxes in, and really organizing and getting prepared for the next day and going, okay, let's pack up our camp in the morning, we're going to bring the wall down, and we're moving into fall, and really making that sort of the next mission of like, how are we going to do this? Okay, what do we need to bring with us? How are we going to carry this stuff? Oh, you found the big backpack? Okay, you're going to carry this and this. You'll carry everyone's tents, you'll carry everyone's sleeping bags, I'll carry the food and some of the ammo, and let's do this. So really working as a team, and even for the solo players too, is having that system set up of like being able to pack up and get ready for that big move when you're ready to do that. So super excited about that.
I'm kind of lazy, so I was wondering, is there other modes of transportation other than running around in the trails?
Look at this guy. See, Craig sets it up, and I just knock it out of the park. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Craig, for asking that question. Yes, there is. So in early access, we will have, as you've seen in the game but not been able to use, are the kayaks, which are fantastic. They are so much fun. They behave like a kayak. They're really really easy to maneuver, and working on some of the built-in physics forces on the rivers, whether you're going upstream, which you'll have to paddle up, or just using it as a lazy river and getting pushed the other way, is fantastic. And we're striving to also making it so you can fish off of your kayak as well, which will be great. And with boats, we also want to do outboard motor boats. So you may find that some that are ready to go. Others may need gas, may need a spark plug to get those going, and that'll be really cool. So you can maneuver not only around this water here, but venture once the wall's down and take a river to the next area, be able to beach it and sort of check out an area, get back in your boat and move along. In each season, we kind of want to expose something new. So summer will be all about boating. That's boats. Boats is our big thing. Boats and moats and boats. And then fall will be leading into ATVs and possibly dirt bikes. So that'll be really cool. So another way to move throughout the world, because as unlike a PUBG where the world is getting smaller, with us the world is getting bigger. As you bring that wall down, the map expands. And as you bring the wall down again for winter, the map expands. The downfall is temperatures are dropping. The leaves are changing. The leaves are falling off the trees. Snow's coming in. Rain's coming in, depending on the season. So the map opens up, and you're going to need a way to get around in that map. So fall, ATVs and possibly dirt bikes, and into winter where everything gets covered in snow, and a lot of these lakes are going to be frozen. So hopefully you've done enough fishing. Hopefully you've collected a lot of water, and you're all set up in rationing. Will be snowmobiles. So those are our set vehicles as of this date that we'll have in there. So I'm super excited about that. And
the
you'll
mystery
see those.
vehicle.
What's that?
The mystery vehicle.
What's
The mystery vehicle.
Oh yes, sorry. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that's the beaver with a harness that you'll be able to ride on. And
You'll be able to tame the giant.
you'll be able to
beaver.
go from map to map. So you'll be able to go from this map to GTA 6, and then from GTA 6 over to Chernarus and DayZ. It's all
You can go to my dev
interconnected.
map.
You can go to your dev map. You could go to anywhere in the world. It's pretty amazing. We're really bringing all games together. There is no boundaries, and it's all thanks to this beaver and his harness. So let's give it up for the beaver.
I think one thing that I wanted to quickly piggyback off of that you were saying is that we have all of these features and all these areas to explore and all these possibilities. And one thing we really wanted to focus on too is allowing the players to have the freedom to explore as much as they can. And I think that obviously playing a lot of survival games ourselves and seeing a lot of games, we wanted there to be a system that challenged players in terms of the survival mechanics, but wasn't something that your sole focus every day was finding food and finding water, and then it was nighttime and you started over again. We want you to be able to explore and hunt and fish and do whatever your heart desires. And so one of the things that we're working on as well is some passive systems that kind of take care of your needs, whether it's with water collection or setting up traps for fishing and hunting, a lot of things like that that not only will help teams of people kind of take care of their larger needs, but also for a solo player who finds it hard maybe to juggle being a loot goblin and staying alive at the same time.
That's a great point, especially with the water collection. So if you have a bunch of farm plots and you have a rain collector, that'll help out a lot. So as long as you have sunlight and you have water, you'll be able to grow any of the seeds in the world and put those together and make any of these sort of different stews and soups and stuff. So you won't have to go to each one with your water bottle and give these farm plots water and take care of them. Who's hurting? It sounds like, is Craig hurting? Craig needs food.
Yeah, Craig needs food. He doesn't like fish.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the badges on Bobby's.
Yeah. You also sound like you're in a lot of pain. So
Yeah, you're also just grunting directly into the back of my neck.
you know
So you
what?
should eat that fish.
I'll just walk into the water.
there is Jesus.
Oh my god.
So coming in 2027, we're gonna actually have icebergs that you could push your friend on and send them off to sea and let them die.
Yeah,
so that's
that'd
pretty
be
cool.
I like that.
I'll talk
A
about.
bridge.
Craig gets so excited about things. I'll talk a bit about the roadmap. So touched a little bit about that. We talked about factions. We talked about AI. Talked a little bit about previous campers. So you got to remember, you're not the first ones in this experiment. These guys have brought a lot of people over, and a lot of these different people that have been brought to this experiment are either trying to get out or don't want to get out. They have nothing to go home to. They are actually like, this is amazing. This is permanent summer. I've got myself a bunch of people I want to work with, and I'm just going to live here. So those are different factions, and also just different campers. You're going to stumble across just campers, one or two of them that have their little campsite just like you, but they've been here longer, so they know a lot more, and they are not trusting. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities to sort of maybe infiltrate those camps and see if you can sort of rummage through them and see what they have. There's also going to be ways to steer clear of them and not get shot and survive. So a lot of really cool stuff coming up on the roadmap for early access. More substations. So the way the substations work right now is when you fire up the game, those substations, which I spoke about earlier, that power the wall, and one of the ways to bring down the wall, sit in a pool. And a pool of a bunch of them, and basically randomly selects a number, and it goes, okay, I'm going to grab this substation. So let's say it's substation 2, and I'm going to place it at X. And every time you start a new game, that happens. So it goes through and picks a random substation. And within each substation, there's a different puzzle. And then that gets placed in the world. And then once it does that, it goes, oh, it's this substation. I need to put down these 3 maps throughout the world so people can find that substation. Some people I've noticed in streams have actually just bumped into them, which has been amazing. And they're like, what is this? And gone in without knowing. And some people have been really good because they've didn't discover a substation until later in the game, but they started learning all of the trails, and they're like, oh, I know where Whitetail Trail is, or I know where this trail is, and they get the map to where that is, and off they go and discover the substation. So more of those will be coming in the pool of substations that we have for early access on the roadmap. More obviously new static points of interest because the map is expanding into fall into winter, so plenty of more places to explore, lots more leaning into the Pacific Northwest, and that this area was sort of settled of people, of pioneers looking for gold and mining and all that, so there'll be lots of influence in caves and mine shafts and all that kind of stuff. On top of that, lumber camps. Lumber is a huge industry here as well. So a lot of things that really play on the world, where this once was a functioning part of a state or a province, and then someone came along and said, I'd like to purchase that land you're not using anymore. Didn't really remove any of the mines or any of the logging camps. They just shut them down and set up this experiment. So a lot of stuff that's been left over that you're going to be able to experience and find and see where other people have sort of gone and set up camp. So also on top of that, ooh, you got a deer there? Bobby,
Yeah,
you have a
Craig
deer?
here.
Oh, you got it's kind of like a deer. Is Craig just holding his breath underwater?
Yeah.
Nice. Another thing added on top with the roadmap is more clothing. So there'll be more summer clothing, more fall clothing, and more winter clothing. And all with different styles of temperature, warmth, and that too, so you can survive. So you'll be able to mix and match and have that. So I think that's everything on the roadmap. And one thing that I can pass off to Sam is that she has set up a public Trello where a lot of the bugs, intermediate bugs, features that are coming, and things like that on a Trello. If you want to speak a little bit about that, Sam.
Yeah, so we have a public Trello now that kind of helps keep everybody in the loop of sort of the more immediate things that are on our list. We like to be as communicative as possible with everything going on. Since we are a small team, we can get our heads buried a little bit. So we wanted a way to be able to keep everyone up to date, kind of on the feedback we're getting, the bugs that have been reported, sort of where they're at, and any exciting things we have coming up. So that is available as well.
That's awesome. And I think they can probably find the link through our Discord, correct? If they
Yes,
join our Discord.
the link is in the Discord.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you haven't joined our Discord already, please do over the Gold River Project. Love to see you over there, and it's a great community, and there's a lot of fun over there, and everyone's super respectful and caring and sharing screenshots and different things they found and asking questions. So it's great. So you'll see Sam and Joke over there, as well as myself, Bobby, and Craig, and sometimes Steve. Over on the Discord there, which is awesome. So it's great to have that, as well as I can't express enough how thankful I am of Joka and Sam being in everybody's YouTube page, popping in and saying hi and helping out where they can with without giving away any secrets to people playing the game. So it's we're trying to be as involved as much as possible. Once again, we're a super small team, but it's really important for us to be a part of be involved in the community all the time. So we're seeing what's working, what's not working, and yeah, just helping out where we can there. I think that's everything. So I'll probably slip into tips and tricks because there's some things that we've noticed that people do constantly that boggle my mind, and or they just didn't figure it out. And I'll just run through the list. Probably my biggest pet peeve, and I'm just like, why? But I get it because some video games do this, is hitting the escape button. Escape in our game is straight to the menu. So if you need to get out of the game or change any volume or video settings, that's escape. There we go. Bobby's showing that off. It's awesome. Yeah, I do love that. You must click apply if you're altering any of the video settings, or it will not change. I've seen people come in here and change all their settings from high to low or to medium and going nothing changed, and it's like there's an accept button at the top. So we put that little reminder in there to please check that out and hit that button. So tab is the key. So if you open up a loot box with F, and it'll automatically open your inventory, so you can actually do control click. So if you hold that control and left click, stuff will come over automatically if you have space for it. Or you can click and drag, and then you just hit tab to close out of all that. So tab is your friend. Be friends with tab. Tab is nice. I like tab. And moving down, something that maybe we'll have to tweak the color on it, but I noticed some people have not seen that when you are looking at an object and you're like, oh, I want to pick that up, and your interact goes red. The reason it's going red is to tell you right away that you're full. You have no more inventory space. And so you're slamming, you're hitting that F key, you're like, come on, give it to me. And you're not getting it. You're like, why is this not going in my inventory? If it's red, that little highlight, see right there? Oh, there we go. We got a red right now. So when Bobby clicks on it, it goes from that sort of green to red. That's letting you know right away, hey, you're full. So that's a nice little touch there if you didn't know about that. And maybe we'll have to make it a little brighter so it sort of pops a bit more. Learn. I talked a little bit about this, but learn everything. Not everything, but most things you can learn. So go through your inventory, right click on it, and if you get an option to learn, hit learn, because you will discover a new ability that you can craft. Do it for everything. Not everything can be learned, but I would just go through absolutely everything and see what you come up with, which is good. On top of
one thing that is worth noting with that, just quickly, one thing that's worth noting is that it will consume what you're learning.
Good point.
You sort of dissect it in order to learn. So if you have been scouring for a certain item that you really, really need, maybe use it for what you need first before you learn, or if you have one to spare, learn that one.
That's a very good point, because there is a cost to learn, and it'll take away. A great point is if you have 2 rags, you're going to lose one of those rags to learning something. So that's always something to be mindful of. And then going down the list, I did the quick loot, which is the control left click. We talked about specialty pouches, which was that doctors, farmers, chefs, and ammo. Another really cool case, and if Bobby can show his inventory and stay on that for a second, Bobby, if you want to go in the light here. At the top right, you have your backpack, and underneath that he has on the left is where your specialty pouch goes. On the right is where your protective case goes, and these spawn in the world as well, and they look like a little yellow pelican case that you would put maybe camera equipment in. And it's our little nod to Turkov, where if you have one of those and you put whatever you want in it, and we recommend things like keys, key cards, anything super, super valuable, if you do die, that will be carried with you. So in your new character that comes in all nudie, you will have that protective case and the things in it. So that's super, like, if you find one of those, like, hold on to it, because that is such a key part of the game to have. Got me out of so many instances where I've lost things, because if you get discovered in a substation via, say, a security camera, you will be kidnapped. They will take your backpack and throw you in a bear cage, and you got to find your way back, and you've lost whatever was in your backpack. So You may even want to leave your backpack outside and not go inside with it. But then that you lose storage. So there's that trade-off of how you're going to tackle some of these things. Other places, I think perimeter control, I don't know if they take your backpack. They might just take your key card.
Yep.
So if you lose your key card to get
Yep.
in there, you're gonna have to find another way. And there's several ways to get key cards. To get that key card to get back.
No,
into
we take your
perimeter
backpack.
We take your backpack.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. They shake you down. Any loose change.
Oh, Bobby,
Yeah,
can you go
pass-
up to top of this? This is new. I've just updated this. I just want to see if it works. And you got
Oh,
shot up.
when did
again.
you update this?
Oh, is this an old one? Yeah. it
Oh
is an
no,
old
we're
one.
playing.
No, it's an old one. I haven't. This hasn't been updated yet. So there is a platform at the top here, and the
Give it a
reason for
try.
that is so you can see. Yeah, there's no platform. The new version that will be out, the next patch, there'll be a platform right here where he stops climbing. So if you look to your right, Bobby, you can see the other tower right there. It's just in the distance. So Bobby is on Little Man. That's Big Brother in the distance. Now, Bobby, if you scan to the left, should be telling everybody all this, but I am.
Yeah.
Is Tall Boy. He just passed it over there. It's that big, massive antenna to the. Go a little more back to the right, way off in the distance. Right. Oh, it's in the clouds right now. You can't even see it. But there's a massive antenna right there by the dam. There it is. There it is. That's out of bounds. That's in fall, so you can't actually get to that one.
Okay.
But you can get to the other one. So these two talk to each other. This one, Little Man and Big Brother. So that's there's a platform
Okay.
going to be up there in the next patch. You can actually stand up there, and because people were getting stuck on the ladder. So there's a little tip that I should probably not going to shut my mouth and not talk about anything. I think that's it for tips.
really
We talked
good.
about the protective case. Tab is your friend. I'm gonna get a shirt that says Tab is your friend. This game is super successful. I will go to PAX with a shirt that says Tab is your friend.
We will give those shirts out.
Yeah, give those shirts out. Tab is your friend. And farms, I touched on this a bit, but when you have farms, they only produce when they have sunlight and water. So if it's nighttime and you're like, why is my thing not growing? It needs sunlight and it needs water. So there's just a couple things we've noticed that pop up. People are like, my stuff stopped growing. It's like, well, what time is it? Middle of the night. Yeah, that's usually why. Trying to think anything else.
I think
think
we
that's
covered it.
Yeah. Can you guys think
Yeah.
of anything I
Yeah.
missed or want to chat about? Any questions?
I think that covers it.
Awesome. Anything?
Yeah, I think for me,
go for it, Bob.
the last thing that I just wanted to say is how grateful we all are for the support that we're getting and from everyone who's not only playing the game but sending us feedback through the bug reporter, which has been extremely useful as well. So please continue to do that. It's been really cool because now it feels like we're kind of co-developing it with with a lot of people that are not only giving us really good bug reports, but also we're learning from how people are playing the game. So even just by playing it and sharing videos or your streams, it's really helpful for us because we're not just finding things that are broken. We're finding ways that people love the game and ways that people want to play the game and want the game to grow, and that is informing what we're working on as well. So even though we have a roadmap, there are pit stops along the way. I know for myself, I've put in a couple of fixes this week purely because I've seen a streamer do something and I'm like, this is going to make them really excited the next time they play. So yeah, please continue to do that.
That's a very good point. Lots of quality of life stuff that we are a team of 6, so there's a handful of us playing the game, and to see other people and how they play it is awesome. Oh, nice shot there.
Oh,
Anything on from you, Craig? Besides, you don't like fish?
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. I did a lot.
You did a lot of dying.
Yeah.
Did a lot of
I made some friends.
Yeah.
I enjoyed trying to capture the fish with my bare hands while Bobby was fishing. That was fun.
Nice.
But no, I think it's good. And are we going to do this? We're going to do this tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I think we'll do this. We'll probably do a rebroadcast of this one, probably later today, if
Yep.
not in the middle of the night. And then yeah, we'll do a stream. I don't even know what day it is. What day are we on right now?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, so we'll probably be doing some streams throughout the entire Steam Next Fest. So if you haven't already, please join our Discord. Love to have you in there and answer any questions you may have.
Smash that wish list button.
Yes, and the wish list, it means everything to us. It helps us grow and it helps us know where to move the needle when it comes to the game. So we really appreciate it. We appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the Twitch streams, all the YouTube channels. We love it. So keep it up, and hope to see you in the Discord. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you.
you.
That was great.
Thank you.
All the best. Bye.